Harley dealerships just committed the most devastating betrayal in motorcycle history, and the financial carnage they're leaving behind will make your blood boil. Right now, thousands of riders are trapped in predatory loans that will haunt them for the next 7 years, while dealerships laugh all the way to the bank with their $6,000 markup schemes. What I'm about to expose will shatter everything you thought you knew about the American motorcycle dream. Here's what's really happening behind those chrome-plated showroom doors. Dealers are hitting customers with an $800 dealer prep fee for literally removing plastic wrap and checking tire pressure. Work that takes maybe 30 minutes. Then comes the $2,000 delivery fee for bikes that arrived on the same truck as 20 others. But wait, it gets worse. They're tacking on 4,000 market adjustment fees because apparently supply and demand rules don't apply to anyone else's business except theirs. But that's just the surface-level robbery. These same dealers are running the most elaborate con game I've ever witnessed in the motorcycle industry. They're creating fake scarcity by marking perfectly available bikes as sold and staging phantom inventory that mysteriously disappears when you show up with actual cash. One dealer in Phoenix had 17 street glides marked as sold on their website, but when an undercover buyer called pretending to be a cash customer, suddenly 3 became available at full markup. The audacity is absolutely breathtaking. Ever wonder why your dream bike suddenly costs more than a luxury car? The financial traps run deeper than surface-level fees, and dealers know exactly how to exploit your emotions. They're pushing 6 to 7-year loans like they're doing customers a favor, with interest rates climbing to 12% for anyone without perfect credit. Here's the kicker. They're specifically targeting younger riders with emotional manipulation tactics, using phrases like "ride now, pay later" and "your dream bike is waiting." A $25,000 street glide becomes a $45,000 nightmare when you calculate the total cost over 7 years at 12% interest. Think about this for a second. Would you pay $45,000 for a bike that's worth $18,000 in actual manufacturing costs? Because that's exactly what's happening to thousands of riders right now. These dealers have turned into full-blown manipulation experts, weaponizing words like premium, limited edition, and iconic legacy to justify prices that would make luxury car dealers blush. Riders are being conditioned to believe that paying $35,000 for a bike somehow makes them part of an exclusive club. The psychological programming runs so deep that customers defend these prices online, arguing that real riders understand the premium. Can you guess what happened next? The backlash has been swift and absolutely brutal. Social media has become a battlefield where riders are exposing dealership tactics with receipts, screenshots, and viral videos that are getting millions of views. Reddit's r/Harley subreddit has turned into a dealer horror story repository, with posts getting thousands of upvotes daily, reaching audiences that dealers never saw coming. What's the result of all this exposure? Dealers are finding themselves in serious financial trouble. Inventory is piling up faster than they can discount it, with some locations offering $5,000 off MSRP and still watching potential customers walk away laughing. The floor plan financing that allows dealers to stock bikes is crushing them with interest payments while motorcycles gather dust for months. Several mid-sized dealerships have already closed their doors permanently, unable to survive the inventory crunch they created. How is Harley Corporate responding to this disaster? They're scrambling with damage control measures that feel more like desperate attempts than genuine solutions. They're promising simpler bikes with stripped-down technology and more affordable entry models. Corporate executives are suddenly using customer-focused language and testing pricing transparency initiatives in select markets. But here's my question. Is this a genuine change, or just another marketing strategy to regain the trust they systematically destroyed? Meanwhile, we're witnessing the most significant power shift in motorcycle culture since the brand's founding. Riders are building independent networks through DIY garages, vintage motorcycle meetups, and peer-to-peer selling groups that completely bypass dealerships. Classic Harley models from the 1980s and 1990s are experiencing a massive surge in popularity because they're mechanically simple, affordable, and don't come with the dealer markup drama that's plaguing new bikes. You know what's really happening here? Brand loyalty is shifting away from corporate Harley toward these grassroots communities faster than anyone anticipated. Riders are finding more authentic connections with people who share maintenance tips, organize rides, and sell bikes at fair prices than they ever found at dealerships. The irony is absolutely delicious. A brand built on rebellion and independence is losing customers because it forgot those exact values that made it legendary. What's driving this community revolution? Riders are turning to technology and collective knowledge to outsmart dealerships completely. Apps that compare prices between dealerships, reveal hidden fees, and track financing offers have become essential tools for savvy shoppers. YouTube channels are breaking down complex financing terms and highlighting red flags that potential buyers should watch for. It's a new era of consumer empowerment that dealers never saw coming. But the real game changer? Dealership employees themselves are speaking out about the toxic culture they've been forced to participate in. Inside these struggling dealerships, sales managers are pushing their teams harder than ever, demanding impossible targets despite empty showrooms. Commission structures have been slashed, and hourly wages have stagnated, while the pressure to hit numbers has turned once passionate salespeople into stressed, overworked individuals just trying to survive. Union movements are stirring among mechanics and sales staff, with workers taking to social media to share stories of burnout and exploitation. Speaking of authentic connections and real community, if you're getting genuine value from this investigation into dealership manipulation tactics, hit that subscribe button, as it helps me continue exposing these industry practices that are affecting real riders with real money. Here's what's really shocking. Some dealership owners are responding to worker complaints with layoff threats and dismissing vocal employees outright, hoping to silence dissent before it spreads. Others are implementing anti-union policies, trying to break up collective efforts before they gain traction. But this heavy-handed approach is backfiring spectacularly. Stories of unfair treatment are going viral, drawing public support from riders who sympathize with dealership workers and are questioning Harley's management practices even more critically. The legal system is finally catching up, too. States like California, New York, and Texas are introducing consumer protection laws aimed specifically at motorcycle dealerships. These new regulations set clear limits on hidden fees and enforce transparent pricing. No more vague market adjustment fees that inflate prices by thousands. The Federal Trade Commission has launched investigations into dealerships accused of predatory financing, and Harley-Davidson itself is facing multiple class action lawsuits from buyers who claim they were systematically deceived. Community accountability has become a powerful weapon against predatory practices. Rider clubs are publicly naming and shaming dealerships known for unfair practices, compiling ratings based on actual customer experiences. Consumer advocacy groups maintain lists of trustworthy dealerships, helping new riders make informed decisions. Through collective vigilance, riders are ensuring that dealerships can no longer operate unchecked. But here's the billion-dollar question that's keeping Harley executives awake at night. Can Harley-Davidson actually bounce back from this self-inflicted wound? The company built a century-long reputation on freedom, authenticity, and the open road. But their dealer network has transformed into everything riders traditionally rebel against. Corporate greed, financial manipulation, and fake scarcity are the complete opposite of what motorcycle culture represents. I think we're witnessing either Harley's biggest comeback opportunity or the beginning of their end as a cultural icon. The riders have spoken with their wallets, and the message is crystal clear. They're not impressed. Independent shops are thriving, used bike sales are booming, and younger riders are choosing brands that actually respect their intelligence and their money. The real tragedy here isn't just the financial damage to individual riders, it's watching an American icon systematically destroy the very culture that made it legendary. Harley-Davidson used to represent rebellion against corporate manipulation, but now their dealers are the ones doing the manipulating. The brand that once symbolized working-class freedom has become a symbol of financial exploitation. Will Harley Corporate step in and completely clean house before it's too late? Or will riders continue walking away from dealerships and toward communities that actually value them as people rather than profit centers? The next 12 months will determine whether this brand survives its own success or becomes a cautionary tale about corporate greed destroying cultural legacy. The choice is ultimately yours as a rider and consumer. You can continue supporting dealerships that treat you like a walking ATM, or you can join the growing movement of riders who are taking back control of motorcycle culture. The power has always been in your hands. Maybe it's time to actually use it and show these dealers what real freedom looks like. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Harley-Davidson is in the fight of its life right now. This isn't just about bad quarterly earnings or temporary market fluctuations. This is about a legendary American brand that systematically destroyed everything that made it special. The company that once represented the working-class dream of freedom and rebellion has become a symbol of corporate greed and financial exploitation. Their dealers are closing down faster than they can count. Their inventory is rotting in showrooms, and their most loyal customers are walking away in disgust. The numbers don't lie. When dealerships are offering $5,000 discounts and still can't move bikes, when vintage models from the 80s and 90s are outselling new releases, when riders are choosing Royal Enfield and Indian over the legendary Harley badge, you know something is fundamentally broken. This isn't just a business problem, it's a cultural catastrophe. The brand that taught America what it meant to ride free has forgotten its own lesson. But here's the thing that breaks my heart about this whole situation. It didn't have to be this way. Harley could have stayed true to its roots, built affordable bikes for working people, and maintained the respect of the riding community. Instead, they chose greed over legacy, profits over people, and corporate manipulation over authentic connection. Now they're paying the price, and honestly, maybe they deserve exactly what they're getting. The motorcycle world is moving on without them. Grassroots communities are thriving, independent mechanics are busier than ever, and riders are rediscovering what it means to truly own their machines. Harley-Davidson may survive this crisis, but the damage to its reputation might be permanent. The question isn't whether they can bounce back, it's whether they deserve to. Subscribe to stay updated on how the motorcycle industry is currently crashing and what you should do for a safe ride.